as artists isn't about appeasing the crowd. Rather, it's about tending to the broken parts inside of ourselves. We create things as a reflection of this struggle, to study our perception of self. Ben Wave isn't necessarily a thing you achieve. Rather, it is a state of mind which you constantly strive toward. This all comes from an understanding that ideas aren't static, but fluid, like water. Be like water.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Two Nerds One Quest. This is a little bit of a different, gig this morning. I'm the only one here, and wasn't quite sure what to do, but I know JC wanted to do some virtual tabletop stuff. He's kind of looking at one. I have a virtual tabletop that I bought, I don't know, a year ago that I've just kind of messed around with a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the dogs behave. And I'm going to pull in some music here as well, so it's not just me doing stuff and you listening to nothing. Oh, I bet you that's really loud. Sorry for your eardrums. Let's turn that way down. There, that should be a little bit better. Alright. That should be good. Hopefully everybody here's having a good Sunday morning. Lots of good chat by me. I know it's tough when it's just a single person. I don't know if anybody here actually podcasts or not, but doing a single show is very difficult. You have to know how to talk to people. You have to know how to, express your words and fill time. You can't have a lot of downtime. You can't have a lot of blank space. And if you should have some background music. Well, that's just my opinion. Some people say the background music's distracting. I kind of like it as long as it's not like overpowering. I did probably about 50 shows of a web development podcast. It's still out there. It's not accessible right now. I'm not sure why the feed is kind of crapped out on it, but it is it's out there. I still have all the podcast files, so maybe I'll find a different way, or maybe I just need to restart my subscription to Blueberry to make it work. Who knows? But we will get this show going. Looking at the people in chat right now, and I see Alexis the Nexus, and I see Mr. Bombats, Lizzie Beth, Sophie Fox, Violet's TV. I don't know how many of these people are actually real and how many are bots. I know Bombats is a real person. But hopefully you all enjoy this. We'll see what happens. Should I do the intro music? Yeah, I probably should. I don't know if this is going to be going into podcast form at all, because I don't know how well this is going to translate to an actual podcast if I'm doing video. I'm guessing not very well. I'm hoping my dogs relax. Get up there. Hey, up. Crazy dogs. Alright, so let's see what happens. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Two Nerds One Quest. I am your host today, Norm, and I am here joined by absolutely nobody. It is just me, myself, and I, and whoever is in chat. Today we are not going to be talking much about D&D per se. I am going to be doing, I'm going to be looking at some virtual tabletops. So we'll see what happens with that and how well that goes over. If I can't fill time and if I just end up bumbling this whole thing up, I will probably throw a game on. I started playing Grim Dawn yesterday. It is a lot of fun. If you're looking for a Diablo change of pace, I guess you would call it, I would say that that is definitely one that you would want to pick up. It is a Diablo Light. I wouldn't even say Diablo Light. It's full on Diablo style action RPG, and it is really fun. And it's different enough to where it doesn't feel like you're just playing a reskinned Diablo. But that is neither here nor there. Today, what I'm going to be doing is looking at See if it held up. There we go. We're going to start off with owlbear.rodeo. This is a... I know, it's a weird ass picture. Apparently people are really pissed about it being a new class or something being... I don't know. You're supposed to be able to be an owl bear. Which, whatever. You do what you want. I don't care. I bet you the music went away, didn't it? Nope. It's still there, and I'll bet it's really loud. There. There. That should be a lot better. All right. Owlbear.rodeo is where we're at. This is one John said he wanted to try out. He's going to be looking at to do our games in. It's, from all accounts, very simple. You have your map, you have your icons, your player icons, and then you have, I guess it allows you to have fog of war. The one thing with this, I guess it doesn't let you do is have like walls, so you'll see through the entire map, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't have to have super complicated structure. So we'll see what happens. That's owlbear, owlbear.rodeo, if you are curious. Let's click on getting started. Start a game to generate a unique URL that can connect you and your players. Invite players with your unique URL from step 1. Share a map, roll dice, or share audio with your players. All data is saved automatically to your computer, so next session, simply use the same computer and all your maps and tokens will be ready to go. That's it. No accounts, no paywalls, no ads, just a virtual tabletop. Interesting. So you don't even get an account. Ooh. Game password? I'm sure you guys will see this, so this is just going to be a temporary thing. Actually, I will switch back to me. I'll probably have to do this a couple times. If you guys are smart like I think you are, I am sure that you will figure out the password. Oh boy. There's a lot of stuff in here. Change nickname. Sure. Gold Dragon. Oh. Gold Dragon was my wrestling nickname in high school. Norm, or I could do... yeah, I'll just do Norm. Then on the left-hand side here we have add party member, share audio, start timer, settings. Let's see what's in the settings. Ooh, we can do a light theme for accessibility. I'm not sure. Show fog guides, okay. Fog edit opacity. Token label size. We probably want those. Oh, that's 1.5. Okay. Grid snapping sensitivity. Okay. Clear cache. Ooh, erase all content and reset. So when we're done with a game, so after this, if I wanted to share my password, apparently I have 153 gigabytes of space I can use. If I use 153 gigs of space for a D&D setup and game, that's a hell of a game. close out of that. On the right-hand side, what do we have? Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk. So these are just all the classes of D&D. Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard, Artificer, Blood Hunter. Oh, so it's really going down into... Holy crap. Undead, Titan, Shape Changer, Plant. Oh, where's Plant Lamp when you need him? Ooze. I wonder if these are creatures as well. Goblinoid Giant. Yeah, these must be also creatures. Fiend. Fae. Yeah, okay. So it's creatures and what have you. Select a map. All right. Stone, sand, water. Can I upload one? Import a map. All right. You guys aren't going to see this, but let's go to my PC. Let's go to my virtual. Let's go to battle maps. Let's do the hidden altar. The one I did with John, or with Jeff and Cooch. No grid. Nope, let's do one with a grid. Imported images larger than 20 megas. Slowness continue. Yeah, it's like 35 megabytes. So we'll see how much slowness it will bring. And maybe it's just an import slowness. No, it didn't take long. So let's select this. Okay, moving the mouse wheel in and out. Alright, so each square represents 5 feet. This is a map I created and used. I'm not entirely sure how great to scale it is, but it's fine. It did its job. So let's grab a character. Let's grab a bard. So we're going to drag it in here. Okay, click on it. So it's literally just drag and drop. And I can make it, oh, holy hell. So this is for when you creating your monsters, you can make them really large, really small. Oh, and the color goes around the outside of the icon. Oh, actually, and the more labels you do, the more it scrolls in. So this is hide token, this is lock token, and this is character. Oh, so I made it a character. Amount, attachment, character, prop, mount, attachment. Okay, so this is a character. Label, we'll call this, let's call this Genius. Nope. We'll call it Cooch, because Cooch is a bard in our Two Nerds quest. Alright, so that's Cooch. You can't really see his name very well, so we will have to... oh, okay, so just by unclicking gets rid of all of the circles. Let's make him orange, because he seems like an orange kind of guy. And we will go back to our settings. And we'll make his token label size... Let's make it 3 times bigger. There. That's a bit easier for everybody to see. And then let's go and grab... I think Genius was a... is Nope, he's a ranger. So we'll grab him. We'll make him a ranger. We'll throw him right there. We'll click on his icon. We'll make him green because he is a ranger. Give him the label of genius. And now we have two characters that we can move around. And it looks like there's a trash can that shows up at the bottom. Yep, when you move your icon over the trash can, that should delete it. That makes it easy enough. So now we have Genius and Cooch. And now we need, let's see here. So they came, if I remember correctly, they came in from the bottom. And we had, I don't remember the creatures we had. I think we had one was a, oh, what's the cat monster? The cat creature. Sir Catigan. Sir Catsalot. I can't think of the creature type that it is. So we'll go down, we'll find a creature. It's not a monstrosity. Let's just go with a beast. And then we had, do we have some goblins? Let's see here, blood hunter, apparition, giant, nope, goblinoid. Let's grab a couple of goblinoids that had come down from the top. Now, if there's anybody in here that wants to actually join in just to see how this works on the client side, just hit me up in chat, and you'll have to add the Discord, of course, or hop into Discord so we can chat in there. But otherwise, I can just do a split screen. Yeah, I could probably just do a split screen, huh? My dog is nesting behind me. One of my dogs is scraping on the blanket. All right, so let's do start timer. What does this do? Okay, countdown timer. Interesting. Share audio. Audio sharing. Share your computer audio with the party. Okay, so if we have music, like I'm playing Pretzel Rocks right now, really quiet in the background, but if we had ambient music, I could do that. That's cool. So we'll just start them out down here. Add a party member. Well, FYI, people, here's the player link. So let's copy this. All right, so I pulled it up on a different screen, so I'm gonna, let's see how this works out. We're gonna make this smaller so I can do a side-by-side comparison. Now we'll add the other. Where's the add? There it is. Add window capture. We'll go Lots of fun for you guys. You can't even see what I'm doing, which is fine, I guess. Firefox. Yep. Now we'll make this a bit smaller. It looks like they have the same kind of setup with the stuff on the side. I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger just so that you can see that as I move, let's see what happens. So I'm going to move Cooch and Genius. I'm going to move Genius over here. Cooch is going to move off to the right. And as you can see, they moved in Firefox. So that's really cool. Now we'll move Sir Cat Person and the Goblinoids. They attack. Oh, there we go. And they're going to move in the other browser. So this is literally a simple share a URL style setup. Interesting. Like, this is literally the easiest that it can get. You do when I did log into this URL, it asks for the password. So the password is what I set up when I created the game. So even though somebody may have the link or whatever, they still can't get in unless you give them the password that you used to create the game. That's interesting. Alright, so now that we have our characters, he is hiding under the tree, and he is going to be hiding behind this tree. What else do we have? So that's what else is on the side here. Select tools. So is this a drag? Okay, so we can move everything all at once. Okay. So by selecting, you can move the entire party as one as opposed to just grabbing them individually. So this hand is grabbing them individually. And this lasso tool, I would call a lasso tool from Photoshop, selects all. And now you can move them all as one unit. That's handy. Fog tool. What does this do? So fog tool gives me options up at the top where it's fog polygon, fog rectangle, fog brush, toggle fog, erase fog, enable fog cutting, enable multi-layer. Oh, that's really interesting. So multi-layer fog cutting and disable fog preview. Enable fog preview. Okay. So let's just do fog rectangle. Oh, let's turn fog preview off because I can't edit if fog preview is on. So fog rectangle. I'm just going to start here. Do that. Actually, let's start up in the corner. We'll go down. Actually, let's go the whole screen. Let's not do the whole screen. Let's just go to this area here. No fog to cut. Oh. Okay. So I can't just click on everything and just expect it to work. Good to know. So there's fog. Okay. And now in looking at the other map, you can see that I'm making it black. It's interesting. All right, so how does this other stuff do? Let's erase fog. Erase that. Erase that. Okay, so it's. What is this? This is fog brush. So this is. Oh. Oh, so I can literally draw an outline of fog. So if I want to keep. Oh, it's kind of weird. So if I want to keep like actual mountains and stuff in, I can do fog of war up at the top. There's that. So we can erase this and this. All right, erase that, that. Interesting. Okay, so I can trace out my entire map. It's not, you have to have a steady hand, or you just have to not care that it's perfect. Let's erase, toggle fog. I don't know what that does. Does that turn it on and off? It's a multi-layer. Okay, so if I put fog over that, is that a layer on top of a layer? Maybe. I'm not sure what the point of multi-layer fog would be. Huh. Let's just delete those. Let's delete that. So I'll just do a quick fog layer here. So that cuts out. And then I'll grab a character and move him. Let's see what happens if he moves here. Nothing. So I wonder if I have to manually cut. Do I have to cut fog every time? That would be an interesting. So if I have to cut fog. So if you look, as I did that, it's got lines where I cut the fog. So I must have to cut fog. Yeah, so you must have to cut fog as you're going, which is an interesting concept. Okay, so I can actually do shape tool. To cut the fog. Weird. Weird. I was kind of hoping. Oh, and then once I click out of it, it shows what's been shown, and now there's areas of the map that aren't seen. Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine, I guess. It's just extra thing for the DM to do, or the person controlling. this a little bit smaller so you can see the entire map. Again, that down to a corner. Let's move that up. Can make this just a little bit bigger. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Here's the fog tool, drawing tool. So I can draw shapes and do what with them? Rectangle, line, brush. Okay, so brush. Oh, so maybe if I want to do something, I could say I want, all right, let's go back. Let's get rid of this crap. I want Genius to move here. Or you can talk strategy. Okay, so I can change color. Let's change it to yellow. Now I want this guy to go up here. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm not sure what this other stuff is. Maybe... I mean, I guess it's useful as a DM to have something like this. And oh, okay. So here's your cone. Anybody in this area, a circle. So anybody in this 10-foot circle. Oh, I like that. So now you have, when you have your attacks, or when you have your spells or whatever it is you're doing, this is your area. And you can gauge based on the squares how many feet. So let's go back. So Cooch is going to do something. So anybody in this area. But that's weird though, because that triangle... triangle is narrow unless I'd have to talk to John about how that actually works, if it's narrow up front or if it's just like if it spreads the further it gets out. So I guess that kind of makes sense. What is this? Disable shape fill, disable blending. Oh, okay, so disable blending basically takes all the opacity away. Disable shape fill probably just, yep. So disable shape fill just gives you a shape without anything inside. So however it is you would want to show that, whatever's best for your team. I kind of like the shape with nothing in it. However, if you do have shape blending, you still see stuff behind it, but you have a better idea as to what's actually in there. I suppose it's just to taste. Okay, then we have square, which is whatever it is. So this is kind of neat. So when you have your tent, and you have your little hut or whatever where you nap or take a short rest, you can actually create it if you wanted to. Line, paint. So paint is literally painting an area. Well, I suppose paint would be useful if you have, I don't know, some kind of splash or fire or water area of affected, affected area, rough terrain. You can show that. So that does make sense. What's this do? Show dice tray. Ooh, dice tray. Oh, okay. We'll get into dice next then. After we do this side stuff. So that's drawing tool. And then we have measure tool. Okay, measure tool is if you're not using a grid. Or even if you are using a grid. You could do... Oh, I wonder if my squares are... Oh, no, it seems to be fine. 5 feet from center to center. 5, 10, 15. Yeah, okay. So it snaps, it seems like it snaps from the center of a square. So whatever I did to set up my squares in Dungeon Draft seems to be accurate. 10, 15, 20. Okay, that's cool. What's this? Pointer tool. Oh, okay. So as I'm clicking, it's got this interesting color that you can change, and it is almost doing like a meteor, what I would call a meteor shot at whatever it is. So I'm going to shoot this guy. I'm going to shoot this guy. So this is actually more useful than the arrows, or drawing those arrows like, hey, I want to shoot this guy, or I'm going to do this. So now as a player, I'm actually going to go to my other browser and see. I'm going to go and do the same thing, which you might not be able to see. Click on pointer tool, and now I'm trying to see. It shows up in my browser. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, as another character, I can do the same thing. So anybody, I'm going to go back so I can show you what I see. I'll slide this over. So, like I said before, you have the same options. This one in the bottom right-hand corner is the playable character that does not have, that's not creating the game. And the upper left-hand corner is my DM. And you can tell easily by the fog of war. The fog of war in the bottom right has that blacked out area, and the one in the upper left is see-through. So in controlling the character has options as well. So I'm going to take a look. So they can measure distance. They don't have access to the fog tool, like I can't click on that. Select tool. They can do the selection. They can grab any token, it looks like. Yep. Pointer distance. And they can draw as well. So a lot of this stuff is available to the playable character. Oh, and that's interesting. They can also drag out... Oh, weird. They can drag out that. Okay, yeah, so they can drag out and move other items from the right-hand side. So if you are, let's say, Genius, who has his flying elephant, whatever the hell he has, When he summons her, he can go on the right-hand side here and do, let's do Fiend. Pulls it out. So there's the Fiend. Clicks on it. Oh, I suppose it would help if I did it through the other person. Alright, so let's go back. Alright, so Genius goes, pulls in the... Where was it? The Fiend. Drops it in next to him. He clicks on it, labels it. Flying Monkey. Gives it the color green. Oh, and so he has to, in his settings, also change the token label size. So it's not universal. Oh, that's really interesting. You would think the game manager... Let's try that again. You would think that the game settings would be based off of the DM and not individual browser settings. So let's try that again. Oh, I see what the issue is. It's also small because I put in a lot of words. Okay, so if you have a really long name, or if you want to, if you have a character with a really long name, it's going to be really tough to see. But still, now me as a playable character, I can summon my familiar friend, creature, whatever you want to call it, move it where I want, control it. Now we're fighting. Okay, that's good. So it seems like the only thing the playable character cannot do is the Fog of War. That's cool. So now, can I use his? Yep, and I can move his characters as well. So basically you need to have trust in your party, or the people that you're playing with, that they're not going to completely move everything and jack up your board, so to speak. Especially since this is an online setting. I wonder, I'll have to look this up. I wonder if once the DM closes out their browser, if everybody else has access to it. Ah, that's an interesting question. I'll have to look that up. Alright, so what else is got going on over here? So we got notes here on the right. Oh, so I can actually pin notes. I can hide it. I can... Ooh, text mode. Okay. So I can label things. Going into text mode, I can label... So if I wanted to label... Oh, this goes on the side. So if I wanted to label this... This is my note. It's not visible. It's locked, so I can't do anything to it other than change color. I can label things. As a DM, I can say, okay, hidden trapdoor, rough terrain. So once somebody falls down a cliff, I can, give them a note saying, hey, this is what this is. Or if players want to add notes of their own, just as a reminder, they can do that. That's cool. Then you don't have to, you should still write things down in a notebook or in D&D Beyond or whatever, but alright, now up here in the left hand corner, we're going to see this was the dice roll. D20. Ooh, we can make it bigger. So I shared my dice roll. Alright, so how do I clear this? Ooh, I can choose different dice. Let's choose this dice. Nebula. Shrink the dice tray. That's interesting because I shrunk the dice tray and it immediately reshook the dice a little bit. Okay. Clicking the X gets rid of the dice. Okay, so I want... let's roll a d20. Now it's there, I can just re-roll. Click out of that. Double click. This is very interesting. So I wonder... So a bigger dice tray lets the dice roll around more than the smaller dice tray it appears. So it's almost like the real physics, like it affects the room. And it really chucks that dice into there, doesn't it? And it counts it up automatically on the bottom for you, but you don't have character sheets. So let's close that. What's Spectre? Oh, Spectre would be... I'm dumb. Spectre would be... let's see here. Let's go in here. Let's rename myself. All right. Oh, I just realized I am blocking out part of that. So expand that out a little bit. Now you can see what's going on. All right, so you have the dice here on the side. Dice. Make the board smaller. Make the board bigger. Reshake the dice. Get rid of them. So it's a very simple dice tray. Seems like it's pretty straightforward. I think what would be really interesting is if they had an integration with D&D Beyond, or if they added their own like character sheets. I think that would be really interesting. But then you're also getting into something that is a little bit more, I don't know, code heavy, I guess you would call it. Less of a simplified application. And I'll be right back. I think my dogs are doing something. I lied. They are not. Alright. So, overall, I like this owlbear.rodeo. Seems like it's pretty straightforward. Even with bigger than 20 megabyte map, it seemed really responsive. What does this do? Show dice tray. Alright. Ooh, I can edit tokens. So in the bottom right hand corner. Oh, I can change this. Oh, I can change size. So this is double the size. Single ooze is double. Giant is double. Dragon is double. So when I drag these out, that must mean that it takes up, would that be 4 squares instead of 1? Because it's twice as big? Or because 2 squares would be kind of a weird oblong, whatever. Okay, so I can click that. I can delete. I don't want to delete anything. Clear selection. Add. Oh, I can add my own tokens. Okay, so if you have tokens that you've created yourself or tokens that you've purchased, like digital tokens from other sources, alright, sorry about that. Gus was growling at me from outside the little gate there because he's a scaredy cat and didn't want to go through the dog door. Alright, so you can add your own token. So I wonder if there's a size. Do I have any tokens? Let's take a look. Let's see what this does. Black Knight. Done. So I'm going to zoom in. My Black Knight is at the top. There's my Black Knight. Oops. So you just have to kind of I guess you have to be sure that you have tokens that are, optimized for this style. You obviously want it to be square or circular. in a certain physical size, but I mean, it works. It's fine. It's nothing too crazy. Oh, and it puts a circle around them, so it automatically does that. Interesting. Interesting. Now Trey came out of there. Because I don't need him. So you could really have a list of creatures and characters and whatever it is you're looking for. Select multiple. Okay, so if I want to delete multiple, so I want to do that. I just want to select one. Select him. Delete. Remove selected token. This operation cannot be undone. Yes, I want to remove him. So if I edit, I can give it a different name. Default category. So characters basically is all characters, playable and non. Default size. Oh, you can even give it a default label. Interesting. Hide grid. Okay, show grid. That's weird that you can. Oh. So I wonder if I could change the knight, because he was more of a rectangular character. I wonder if I could edit him. Yeah, that would just be easier to edit in Photoshop or whatever. Give him a circular. Give him a circular look. Huh. Cool. What's this? This is enter full screen. So full screen gets rid of all the stuff on the side. Wow, you really zoom in there. Get him, flying monkey. Huh. Okay, so I can toggle that as well. Show the stuff on the side. I guess you really don't need... Oh, but it gets rid of your icons on the side as well. Although I suppose if you're a character, you don't need those icons really. You can have it full screen. Pull out your dice tray. Hide your dice tray. And literally all that other crap is gone other than the stuff that you would normally use. Like the pointer. That makes sense. We might have to try this out next time I do my map with Cooch and Genius. That would be, I think that would be fun. The only problem we may have is Genius is using a tablet. So pulling up this in D&D Beyond may be a bit of a stretch. Unless he has two tablets. Huh. Oh well. That is owlbear.rodeo. It is 25 after 9, so we got 35 minutes. I think I am just going to call this a day, make it a short stream. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I don't know if I can fill time for 35 minutes without going into a completely different virtual tabletop and getting that set up, which I have the Foundry virtual tabletop, which is really cool. Which, well, you know what? I'll open that up real quick. Oh, nope, that's Dungeon Draft. I don't want Dungeon Draft. Dungeon Draft is what I used to make this map here, and you've seen probably some streams of that if you've paid attention to the channel at all. I really should make some new maps because A, it's fun, and B, it's fun. All right, just gonna take a second here. I gotta log in. Alright, I'm going to get rid of these. Yep, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And then let's add. There we go. This is Foundry. Covered up my camera. Alright, so this is Foundry. This is a Foundry virtual tabletop. Came out a couple years ago. I have an update. Apparently, I have 2 worlds, I guess you would call it. Basically, worlds are your campaigns. You can have multiple campaigns, and all you do is you launch world, and it goes into the editing system and how you play it. Game systems. I have D&D 5th edition installed. You can install other ones. You can install a system. So you can do, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Warhammer, Chronicles of Darkness, Forbidden Lands, generic role-playing game aid, Starfinder, beginner box, Double Cross Third. I don't know any of this stuff. Morkborg, an unofficial community-supported system for playing Morkborg on Foundry. Cyberpunk Red, Pathfinder 1, Veil Rider. I mean, this is literally just, I can scroll and scroll and scroll, and there are all these game worlds created by users. The one that you would install would be Dungeons. Oh, how did I find it? Installed only. Maybe it's D&D. D&D. Yep, D&D 5e. This is what I have installed. So this is the I think it's the official D&D by the world for this system. It's installed. It's the version I have. Blah, blah, blah. We'll close that out. add-on modules. These are the ones I have installed. Card support, conditions for D&D 5e. This module alters the effects in the token HUD. Like, this is really getting into the weeds. I have D&D Beyond integration. So integrate Foundry Virtual Tabletop with your licensed content on D&D Beyond. So this does integrate. I'm not sure how well it does with D&D Beyond, but it does. Import scenes, elements from universal virtual tabletop files generated by editors like Dungeon Fog and Dungeon Draft. I have this so that I can add my Dungeon Draft maps. Configuration. This is languages. Oh, I definitely don't want to show this password. That would be bad. Update software. And so now this is, there's a new version of the Foundry tabletop that I can update. We'll go back to Game Worlds. Let's just see what this is. We'll launch this world. So select user, and then if this was other people that I shared this with, you know, they would see this, but they would not have Game Master. They would have whatever, and then they would have to use their user password. I don't need a user password because I'm the Game Master. Oh, I was doing Mask of the Worms. So I have, as I scroll in, you can see rain. By pressing the control button and moving the cursor, gives me feet. Scroll out. How do I have to remember how to do this because there we go. Right click allows me to move the map. Pressing the space pauses and unpauses the game. We have all of our editing stuff up here on the left hand side. So measurement controls, measure distance, tile controls, drawing tools, wall control. Wall control is really cool because this is how you control. Let's just zoom in on here. As you can see, I have these lines. So these lines here, these yellow lines, are walls. And so when a token comes into this room, they won't be able to see through this wall. And this is a door. By clicking on it when you're playing the game, the door will open and close, which will allow access to that room. Meaning, depending upon the angle that your character is looking at that door, will display what's inside that room. So if your character is in this area here, and looking this way, this area here would then be open. Like this, and the rest of it would have fog of war or like a shadow. You can do terrain walls, invisible walls, meaning like they can't see past it, but they should be able to. Hold on 1 second. Ethereal walls. So all these are different types of walls. Drawing doors, duplicating walls, and secret doors is really cool because if I wanted to have a secret door right here in this wall, I could click on that, and that would be if they found it. You could click on it and it could open up like any other door. Sorry about that. My dogs keep making noises, and I'm not sure what they're doing. All right. So yeah, that's walls. Force snap to grid makes it easier to create walls, clone walls, and then clearing walls. So clearing walls would clear all of the walls themselves. So do I have any characters? Alright, off on the right hand side, we have combat tracker, no active encounters. We have our maps, our what they call scenes, actors directory. We have genius. I can put him here. JC, I can put him here. Cooch, I can put him here. And then you can create them, edit them. Right clicking allows you to do some stuff. Configure permissions, what does that do? Okay, so you can change if they're an observer, an owner, if they're limited. Clicking on sheet. Default 5e sheet. Yeah. Items directory. I don't think I have any items. Journal entries. Rollable table. Card stacks. Like all the stuff I haven't touched yet. Sound. Compendium packs. What is this stuff? Items. Oh. So this is basically information. You click on it, tells you what it is. Import entry. So now I can add that. Can I add that? Yeah, there's a lot. I haven't really messed with this system at all. I've just kind of used it to build the walls and stuff. And then we have settings on the right. So we can move. Oops, see, we have fog of war. Doesn't know where he's going. Do. So I kind of have to adjust how this works. Because clearly I don't know. So that's just one of those things I have to do. But in a nutshell, this is Foundry Virtual Tabletop. And as you play, you have your roles here. Public role, private GM role, blind GM role, self role. So public role would show to everybody. Yeah. So I look forward to actually getting more into this just to learn more and get it up and running. This is one of those things kind of like owlbear.rodeo where you can you do it through browsers and you give them a login and a password and a URL. They go there, they log in, and then you can have everybody all in here at once. So I look forward to, if nothing else, just playing with it more. Maybe getting John, Jeff, and Ryan into trying it out with me. Owlbear does seem a lot easier. It was very straightforward. This obviously is very, very more in-depth. Lighting tools. This is something I was using with a different map. Lighting tools is cool because lights will shine out of windows and stuff, but that is for a different day. All right, so that's Foundry Virtual Tabletop in a 5-minute nutshell. So I'm gonna close up shop. Let's get out of here. Hopefully this wasn't too painful for you. We'll be back again next Sunday. I think, maybe. Let's see, today's the 14th. Yeah, I think we should be back next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. We are Two Nerds One Quest. You can find us anywhere that we have, like Twitter and patreon.com/Two Nerds One Quest. Join our Discord, bit.ly/OurFun Discord. We do some chatting in there, music, games, D&D stuff, whatever. Yeah, just support us. Let other people know about the show. Let other people know about us as an entity. That's the biggest thing you can do to support us. Otherwise, Patreon, we have a shop. If you're in chat, you can click !merch, and that will get you the link to our store, which I will do right now. We got some cups and stuff in there, so check it out. For me. We'll catch you next week. All right. Thanks everybody for joining along. Hopefully it was, like I said, it wasn't too painful. Just me talking. Hopefully the sound was good. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully you learned something, I guess. Not going to be any post show chat because it would just be me talking to myself again. But we will be back. I do believe we are back next week. No show titles today because as a single person here, I wasn't doing any show titles and I don't think I necessarily said anything funny or exciting. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know. Just hit me up on Twitter at Tom M. Norman. Or next time we have a show, just type something in here. So later, nerds.